Orphie and Magus. Yep, after I tried her in the beta version some time ago, I thought that this agent is quite different from Seed even though she has the same role. Orphie has a unique as well as deadly attack that can deliver an off-field attack through an aftershock attack mechanism. In addition, uniquely, even though she is an agent with an attacker role, she is able to give an attack increase buff to all allies, very similar to other support characters. We call them Astra Yao and Lucy. So, without further ado, I'm Hoyostation and we will discuss the ultimate guide of Orphie and Magus version 2.2. Let's do this. Do you have a character or weapon in the game that you really want but you don't have enough stellar jades? Here's a smarter way to recharge your favorite games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Look no further than Lootbar. Lootbar is the most reliable top-up platform. It saves up to 23% for all orders compared with the official channel, and it provides an 80% off for your first purchase. It's 100% safe as you will only be using your UID. We will buy pack for 3000 stellar jades for $42, which otherwise would have costed $50. Totally saving $7.5. We received the crystals we purchased in the less than 3 minutes. All recharges will be done through the official channel with MiHoYo, which allows you to enjoy all top-up offers. Ready to level up your gaming experience? Check the link in the description to get the amazing discount. Before we go deeper into her kit, we will talk about the mechanics of these cute characters first. Just like agents in general, Orphie has a special mechanism called Bottled Heat, which is located under the agent's logo. Bottled Heat has a maximum point of 125 points, and Orphie will get 100 points when entering battle. The way to get Bottled Heat is quite varied, but the way to get it easily, we can get it by casting Special Attack, EX Special Attack, Chain Attack, and also Ultimate, because each skill we use will recover 20 points. Oh yeah, this Bottled Heat can be used to automatically trigger EX Special Attack Heat Charge, which will give a status called Zeroed In to all team members. This status will increase the attack of all team members by 280 points, as well as provide other buffs. I know you are surprised because how little her buff is, but don't worry, the amount of attack buffs that will be given through this status can later increase again according to the energy regeneration that Orphie has. Okay, we will move on to the special attack section. She has two versions of special attack, but what you should know is that it's called Special Attack Corrosive Flash. What makes this skill really special is that it will activate automatically every 5 seconds. In addition to helping to contribute damage, this skill also plays a role in filling Orphie's Bottled Heat, where every time this skill is launched, Orphie will gain 20 Bottled Heat. Okay, now we will go into the EX Special Attack section of her, which also has several versions. The first version, called EX Special Attack Watch Your Step, has a similar function to Special Attack Corrosive Flash, which is useful for filling up your Bottled Heat points. As for the second version, which is called EX Special Attack Crimson Vortex, it will activate automatically if Orphie has 60 energy or more and is in the off-field. This skill will give you an attack that will also fill the Bottled Heat. For the next version, which is called EX Special Attack Heat Charge, it has a very interesting effect for us to discuss, guys. You could say that this EX Special Attack is the version that has the deadliest damage among other EX Special Attack. How? This EX Special Attack can give attacks continuously and can parry against enemy attacks. When the attack duration reaches the maximum limit, Orphie will automatically launch a follow-up attack called EX Special Attack Fiery Eruption. This skill is a finisher skill that is useful for dealing additional damage to enemy targets. Indeed, this skill does not provide other benefits such as addition of Bottled Heat, but to activate this skill is quite easy and does not have complicated requirements. As for her ultimate, Ultimate Dance with Fire. It can provide fire damage, 20 Bottled Heat, and also trigger instant quick assist. With this effect, we can rotate better and make it possible to create many more varied combos. In addition, the damage multiplier given by her ultimate up to the maximum limit reaches around 2000%. Indeed, I know, this number cannot compete with the ultimate percentage of some meta characters today, such as Miyabi or Yixuan, which can reach 4000%. But you have to note, Orphie does not have a role as an attacker, but in fact, she is an agent with the support role. In the next section, we will discuss her core skills. First, For her core passive, which is called core passive, Taming Wind and Fire, it has a really cool effect, guys. This core passive can increase the critical rate for Orphie and Magus by 25%. Of course, this critical increase will affect her damage output as an off-field attacker. In addition, as I explained in the mechanic and gameplay segment, this core passive will give a buff effect called Zeroed In to all agents in the team for 12 seconds. The way to activate this buff is quite easy. Just launch EX Special Attack Hit Charge, which we can access by holding down the Special Attack button when the battle heat has reached 100 points. Unfortunately, to be able to give an attack increase of up to 980 points, which is at the maximum limit, Orphie must have at least 3.8 energy regeneration. So her signature W engine plays a very big role here, guys. In addition, thanks to her core passive, all Fire Blade attacks caused by basic attack, EX Special Attack, Chain Attack, and Ultimate will be considered as Aftershock. So, agents like Soldier Zero, NB, and Trigger will gain more benefits when paired with Orphie and Magus, as the three of them have kits that are very related to Aftershock. And next, we will move on to the additional ability, Forged in Flames, where when an agent has a stun or support role in the team, the Aftershock damage given by the agent with Zeroed In will ignore 25% of the enemy's defense. Cool, isn't it? Yeah, it's clear that the additional effect of this additional ability strengthens the position of the Aftershock team to be able to outperform other teams with a very solid damage output. Finally, we get the final part of her kit, which is the MINDSCAPE part. For the first MINDSCAPE called Luxurious Cat House, it's a pretty good MINDSCAPE, because this MINDSCAPE will make all of her special attack ignores 15% fire resistance. Not only that, agents who have Zeroed In will also deal 20% additional damage, where this effect will be very useful whether it's to increase Orphie damage or increase the damage of teammates. Uniquely, the effect of this MINDSCAPE has no duration, which means that this MINDSCAPE effect will continue to be active without any conditions. For the second MINDSCAPE called Weird Food List, this MINDSCAPE has an effect that is no less interesting, guys, especially for Orphie to be able to quickly launch the ultimate, because Orphie will recover 65 decibels every time she casts an Aftershock, which is where almost all of her skills are considered Aftershocks. In addition, the attack buff given every time Orphie rolls the ultimate will also make the damage output generated even higher. Furthermore, for the fourth MINDSCAPE, Ping Holster has a pretty good effect because it can increase the initial duration of Zeroed In to 16 seconds. This will make the total duration of Zeroed In even longer. In addition, the damage dealt by EX Special Attack Hit Charge and Ultimate Dance with Fire increased by 40%. This effect will certainly increase the total damage produced, considering that EX Special Attack Hit Charge is one of her main skills. For her last MINDSCAPE, called Magic Seed, it has a very interesting effect, guys. Orphie has now instantly triggered EX Special Attack Crimson Vortex after the launch of a Fireblade Drift for basic attack High Pressure Flamethrower. In addition, the laser dealt through EX Special Attack Hit Charge will deal considerable additional damage at 250%. In addition, this additional attack is also considered an Aftershock. So the buff of increasing Aftershock damage coming from her core passive will increase the damage of this additional fire damage. Well, the weakness of this MINDSCAPE is that it does not have a big impact like MINDSCAPE 6 on other agents. But this is quite natural, considering the effects of other MINDSCAPEs are quite good and useful for her. Next, we will discuss Orphie and Magus' builds. As for the W engine options, unfortunately there are not many. But surely the best choice falls on the Bellicose Blaze, which is her signature W engine. This W engine has an advanced stat in the form of energy regeneration, which is very useful for Orphie to maximize the attack buff from Zeroed In that she gives. Then, the effect of increasing the critical rate given will make the number of Orphie's critical rate from beginning 50%. So we can look for substats and other main stats such as critical damage without having to look for the critical rate too high anymore. In addition, this W engine will also make the entire user's attack ignore a total of 30% defense every time the user uses an Aftershock skill. Of course, this effect will continue to be active consistently because almost all of Orphie's skills are considered Aftershocks, as well as she does have a fire type. But for the A rank option, there is not much we can use. You can use Mercado Desire, which will give you a critical rate and attack that is quite useful for Orphie. Then for other options, you can use Cannon Roarer, which can increase attack and deal additional damage to enemies. Oh yeah, you can also use the Red Axis Drill Rig, which can provide additional energy regeneration, which is very useful for the buff increase she provides. But unfortunately, we cannot use the effect to the maximum. Do not forget that we will also discuss her disk drives. Since Orphie is an agent with an attacker role that focuses on dealing damage to enemies and giving buffs to teammates, the combination of 4 sets of Shadow Harmony and 2 sets of Swing Jazz will be the best combination of disk drives for her. Shadow Harmony will permanently increase the user's Aftershock damage and dash attack by 15%. In addition, when the user attacks the enemy using Aftershock or dash attack, the user will get an increase in attack and critical rate up to 12%. If we add everything she has, as well as the effects of her signature W engine, then the amount of critical rate obtained is 62% from the start. Of course, this stat is quite good. Oh yeah, for the status recommendations that you can use are as follows, guys. Now we will enter into a discussion about teammates that are suitable for Orphie to use. As I mentioned before, Orphie is an agent who has the role of a sub DPS as well as a support because of her kit that can provide attack buffs and aftershock attacks off the field to enemies. This agent is the strongest candidate currently to be paired with Orphie, because in addition to the two of them can provide aftershock attacks, and B can be used as a main DPS who have a long time on the field. Meanwhile, Orphie acts as a buffer and also a sub DPS that provides aftershock attacks. Plus, rumored in the upcoming 2.3 version, zenlesszonezero NB will get a buff to her kit that can further increase the potential of the Aftershock team. For the next agent is Trigger. As we already know, Trigger can launch Aftershock attacks to give daze value to enemies. Of course, this will be useful for Orphie to be able to add the duration of her zeroed in, as well as provide daze off field. Trigger will also be the best standard option if you use Orphie in your team, so I highly recommend that you combine the two to make a solid team. Okay, after hearing my full explanation from the beginning, here I will convey my personal opinion about this character, guys. So far, Orphie is a character that I can say is quite simple but powerful. How to use this character is also quite easy. Yep. Mostly this is because Orphie is a sub DPS character who automatically attacks enemies once she has enough energy. When she enters the field, she doesn't need much time, because most of the time we will immediately hold the special attack button when the battle heat has reached 100 points. On the other hand, the buffs she gives are also quite high, guys, even equivalent to buffs from other meta supports. Let's call them Astra Yao. But well, unfortunately, we can only achieve this buff if we have a certain energy regeneration, which currently can only be achieved if we use her signature W engine. This is one of her biggest weakness. So, is this character worth taking? Honestly, in my personal opinion, this character is very worth taking. Moreover, you are planning to form an Aftershock team at this time, because I can predict that the Aftershock team will be one of the meta teams with a very significant kit overhaul in zenlesszonezero NB in the upcoming patch. So I highly recommend the presence of this character in your team. Anyway, if you don't want to make an Aftershock team, I don't think she needs to be taken. And you can take another character like Evelyn, who I think is still pretty good and pretty solid to date. Okay guys, so that's all for now. Do you intend to pick up Orphie and Magus in this patch? Please type in the comments down below and don't forget to check out my other videos because they are just as cool. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video.